Yeah, but China said something interesting this week in the Global Times, which is owned by the People's Daily, the official mouthpiece of the Communist Party. They said China would respond with unprecedented ferocity if, depending on what North Korea does. And so that is new. And I think what you're seeing is that Donald Trump is using the leverage that we have with China. You know, they depend on us to keep their economy growing. And Trump knows that, and he's using that leverage.
Now, Emac, to Austin's point, which I think is a valid one, in the past, the sanctions haven't worked. Yes, we've rolled back on some of those sanctions. That's when things got out of control. But despite sanctions, they've done a lot of stuff that's no good.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, the psychology of the leader of North Korea is really interesting. I think from what I'm reading, he does not want to end up like Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi. That's why he uses the nuclear threat to milk countries for what he wants. He saw South Korea's leader said in 2009 he had to give over tons of fertilizer, rice, corn, and the leader of North Korea wanted $10 billion in cash to pay off the elite. So, you know, it's whether or not South Korea and China can step up and say, you know what, no more. And by the way, one of those missiles can go haywire and accidentally hit Japan.
Oh, sure.
So
well,
it's serious.
Bill, there are signs that North Korea, they're not crying uncle exactly, but they're beginning to show some strain as a result of what China's doing. They just came out with an announcement currently with the cooperation of somebody. The U.S. is planning to collapse our system, the action that is such a naive and foolish delusion. Now, that somebody reference is clearly to China.
Well, obviously they're hurting, but let's also be realistic. There are existing sanctions in place that prevent North Korea from getting a hold of missile parts. And somehow they do. Those parts are coming from Chinese firms and from Western firms. Why? Who's cheating? Who's either inept or corrupt in letting this stuff get through the borders?
John, it would be great if we were able to starve North Korea of those elements that they use to make nuclear weapons.
But you cannot do that, and that's the point. Sanctions do not work because ultimately we're all trading with one another. In North Korea's case, they have no economy to trade, and I think that's the bigger story. For them to be a military threat, they would have to be a powerful economy, but this is a communist, backwards economy. They do not represent a threat. Stay out of it.
Steve?
The fact of the matter is poor countries can pose a military threat. You see that with North Korea today. Those missiles aren't just paper mache. They are very real. Wherever they got the parts, they are firing those missiles. They've developed nuclear capabilities, and they will have the capacity soon to reach our shores.
And by
Why
the way,
wait
Steve,
till the disaster happens?
They don't get those parts for nothing. They pay for them.
That's true.
And I imagine some of that payment is through a banking system, right? To Austin's
through the banking system in Macau and elsewhere. That's where we started to choke it off in 2008. That's why North Korea said, oh, we'll finally behave ourselves. Of course, they broke those promises.
So, Austin, the evil stuff or the stuff with which they make evil products?
Not really, Bear. I mean, they have a history of actually barter exchanges. I mean, these guys are not even in the last millennia. I think
what do they? By the way, what do they have to barter? Austin, question.
They have rice. They have some rice.
They can barter
have some
rice
coal.
for nuclear components.
What they have
Are you
is
kidding?
some rice and some coal. Look, who they trade with is China. That's been their only ally. They trade over a land border. China has not bought into the idea of Western sanctions, and I think it's unreal. We gotta put pressure in other places.
Emac, go ahead.
What they're bartering with is their nuclear threat. That's their big bartering stick.
That's a great point.
So how do you stop that? I mean, this has been such a conundrum for decades of how you deal with North Korea. And I think you're right. You shut off the spigots of China and get South Korea in there.
Rich, final word. This is Easter weekend. It's a weekend of peace, for God's sakes. I mean, if there is a way to do it without military, isn't that what we all want?
Well, of course, because once a nuke is unleashed, you know, who knows where it's going to stop. I mean, look at how World War I started, not with a nuke, with a single pistol shot. So, you know, it's better to contain this thing, and China's the country to do it.
All right. On that positive note, I think we got to move on. The tax deadline is just 3 days away, and while you're scrambling to get through all that paperwork, we are dusting off a GOP plan to let you file your taxes with just one easy postcard. We are daring the folks inside the Beltway to do what's right.
Say, Carl, we have a question about your brokerage fees.
Fees?
What do you have in mind?
I don't know, $4.95 per trade?
And I was wondering if your brokerage offers some sort of guarantee.
Guarantee?
Where we can get our fees and commissions back if we're not happy.
So can you offer me what Schwab is offering?
What's with all the questions?
Ask your broker if they're offering $4.95 online equity trades and a satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like their answer, ask again at Schwab.
I'm Chris, and I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Listen up, guys. Want to shed a few pounds? Got a beer belly going on? Can't fit into your pants? Then you need Nutrisystem for men.
I'm Essex, and I lost 43 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I'm Trevor, and I lost 60 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose 15 pounds and 7 inches in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guarantee. Real guys, real results.
I'm Michael, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Put down the pie, pick up the phone, and get with the program today. Get 1 week of all new Nutri-Crush bars free and 1 week of Turbo Shakes free.
The food was delicious.
If you're like me and you like to eat, this is what you get to do.
This is perfect for men, especially guys who don't want to cook.
So get off the couch, call or go online in the next 2 minutes, and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping. Free! Lose 15 pounds and 7 inches in your first month.
It's not that hard. You eat the food, you lose the weight.
Go online or call 888-605-SIZE to get Nutrisystem for Men with bars and shakes free.
My name is Stephen Hawking. It's always been a dream of mine to explore the universe. In this bad boy, I can. From the Big Bang to Santa Barbara. Join me on a fantastical journey to my favorite places. Only on CuriosityStream.
Start your free trial today at curiositystream.com.
Occasional constipation can be a pretty tough customer. But Colace is the #1 doctor-recommended stool softener brand. It's been gently softening up hard cases for over 60 years. So next time you're up against occasional constipation, remember Colace and feel the difference a little softness can make.
Oh no! Your shower drain is clogged, your bathroom pipe is plugged, and the odor coming from the sink is embarrassing. Stop drain clogs and stinky sinks with SaniSticks, the concentrated drain cleaning and sanitation sticks that you drop in the drain once a month, where they dissolve over time to stop backups, clogs, and nasty odors. Drop in a SaniStick once a month in the kitchen sink, bathroom sinks, utility room sink, bathtub drains, mop sinks, and anywhere you want to keep water flowing without plugged pipes and embarrassing odors. Available at these fine retailers.
Tough talk and military might was heard today at a parade marking the anniversary of the birthday to the founder of this country, Kim Il-sung. While there was no nuclear test or missile launch to mark the date, as was feared, we did see troops, we did see military, and experts say we saw new missiles and rockets, a new medium-range missile or two, and a prototype for an intercontinental ballistic missile. The fear is that North Korea could develop a ICBM, tip it with a nuclear warhead, and target the United States. We're a couple hundred yards from Kim Jong-un, and it's amazing. This guy, a 30-something figure, has this government, has this country in control, is organizing the devotion. He is a foe not to be underestimated.
Last minute tax.